Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna be sharing how I plan to research one of the most influential figures in early American history, Alexander Hamilton. He played a crucial role in shaping the US government and its economy during his lifetime. In this presentation, I'll explain why I chose him, what historians say about his impact, what sources I'll be using, and my overall plan for my paper. Why I selected Alexander Hamilton to be my subject. I've always been drawn to the founding era of the United States. So many different events, so many different intense debates, and of course, so many different enlightening ideas. Hamilton stood out to me because of how much he achieved despite his immigrant background, and of course, despite how he was always running out of time. I also became more interested after reading Ron Chernow's biography and watching the musical. While entertaining, I realized there was a deeper story to uncover, one that is still relevant to issues like federal power, economic inequality, and leadership today. Historians' views on Hamilton tend to differ. Chernow's portrays him as a modern visionary who created the foundation of our financial system, while other scholars tend to think more that Hamilton leaned too much towards centralized power and elitism. The musical made him look like a democratic underdog, but historians like Annette Gordon-Reed have called out that narrative, especially how it ignores his ties to slavery and privilege. I wish to explore these conflicting views in my research. My key primary source materials. I'll rely on several of Hamilton's original writings. First, he wrote the majority of the Federalist Papers, 51 to be exact, writing like he was running out of time, which are essential to understanding his political philosophy. His report on public credit and report on manufactures show how he built the U.S. financial system from scratch. I'll also look at his letters and personal correspondence through the Library of Congress archives. These sources will give us direct insights on how he thought and operated, and how he was not much of a wait for it person. His significance to U.S. development. Hamilton shaped so much of what we now take for granted. He created the National Bank, pushed for consolidating states' debts, and laid out ideas that still guide the U.S. economic policy. He also helped define the structures of strong federal government, supported the idea of energetic executive branch. Whether you admire him or not, his ideas helped us set stage for America's rise as a modern nation. Now, I explored how AI tools represent Alexander Hamilton. Not to use it for my research, but to better understand how algorithmic systems portray him and his impacts. What I found is that AI often reflects the most widely accepted or surface level narratives available on the internet. So basically, quick Google search and the first article. Through my research into the bias, I learned that AI models are trained on large databases that tend to amplify popular or mainstream viewpoints. In the case of Hamilton, this often means a heavy emphasis on his financial brilliance and his portrayal in the pop culture, especially the Hamilton musical. The AI tends to present him as a largely positive, even heroic, while often omitting or downplaying more controversial aspects of his life, like his elitism, his limited views of democracy, and his direct/indirect ties to slavery. This revealed something important to me. AI systems don't really understand historical nuance. They generate responses based on patterns of what people have already said online. So basically more of what the population believes already, which can conclude historical inaccuracies, oversimplified views, and cultural bias. So even though I didn't use AI to gather my research material, studying how AI frames Alexander Hamilton and his impacts made me realize I need to dig deeper for more relevant and truthful information about him and everything around him. Now, these are my select sources for now. You have the Federalist Papers and Hamilton's financial reports are going to be my primary sources, my primary documents. Juan Chanel's biography will give me more of a detailed view on his life. Gordon Reed's Harvard article challenged the myths that we see in pop culture, like him being such a democratic underdog, basically fighting for everything was right and was against everything wrong, as pointed in the musical, such as like him being against slavery, even though in real life he had ties to slavery. And of course, the historians on Hamilton offers essays that explore multiple perspectives of his legacy. All these will help me explore Hamilton from both a factual and interpretive lens. Overall, Hamilton's legacy remains influential and debated. Alexander Hamilton was a controversial yet foundational figure. My research approach combines his own writings, modern analysis, and a little bit of what AI will be saying, but with a crucial eye. Basically, I will be researching everything that I did see what AI is saying. It won't be too hard, honestly. Like, when you search it up on Google, there's that little AI portion that tells you that, and then an article that it links. All I gotta do is scroll down more deeper research into what I'm reading. I want to understand both the man that Alexander was, the father he was, the husband he was, and overall, the man, the general, the leader, the visionary he was. And of course, the myth of what he was, the view side of him being such a good man, of him being such a revolutionary, heroic person in the eyes of basically pop culture because of the musical. And I wish to see his ideas and how it shaped the American system we live under today. Basically, my entire plan for my paper is going to be slowly more of surface level of what he did, what his impacts were, and then a deeper dive into his personal life and his personal morals. Basically of what kind of person he was, what kind of person he was, and how it influenced what he did. As in, like, him being an immigrant from a whole nother land, coming here, fighting in the Revolutionary War, and him reading up and being knowledgeable on financial things for nations, and being a big influence on the financial economy of our nation. And yeah, overall, that is the basically rough edges of my plan. I'm gonna surface level. I'm gonna dig deep still, but I'm gonna be over like his impacts on like what he did for the economy, what he did for our government, but I'm gonna be digging more deeper into personal life of Hamilton and the impacts he had on other people. One main person that will be a good one would be Aaron Burr. Not only because he was a main character in the Hamilton musical, but it's because if you see different events, them two were a part of them. If it was like, if Burr's here, Alexander's there. If Alexander's here, so is Burr. Plus, Burr is the one who ended up killing Alexander Hamilton, so there's the ties there. But yeah, to cut everything short, that is my entire plan for now of my paper. Thank you for your time. Have a good night.